So that's part of the process we go through with all the sellers. When you're getting your business ready to sell, we will ask you to check all your Form 6s, make sure that it's assignable. If there's 28, if there is not, you can actually go back to that particular owner, ask them to tick that box, or ask them to resign a brand new one without that condition. Then you will pass the verification with the accountant.
If it's go to the owner to sign the new form, it's a big job.
It depends how many's in your pool.
That's why you need to make sure as you progressing, you perhaps have a very good relationship with your investor owners, that they are happy to do those little favors for you when you need to. That's the reason why we have those workshops.
Nothing changed. Just
Well, you should be running your business as if you're ready to sell it tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you don't just one day wake up and say, I'm going to sell my business. Here it is, sire, sell it for me.
Yeah.
It's something that you need to be thinking about well in advance. Same with your options, same with topping them up.
Absolutely.
All these things need to be on the forefront of your mind all the time.
So that's the thing we actually really emphasize in the book, to tell everybody, you can't settle into a business, you make sure that you work on it daily so that you can sell it tomorrow if you need to be at the top shape, not have problems in it. Yeah, so you work on your business daily.
Yes. I went to I think it was a workshop a couple of days ago. That was a theme. Two or three people mentioned the same idea. So you start something with the end in mind. So because with management rights, no matter how much you love the business or how long you want to run the business, there will be an end to that journey. Either you want to sell it in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or for the whole life, but then there will be a time you will need to sell it somehow. Hopefully not because the expiry of the agreement term. But so that's the thing. So you have the plan, but you still have to make sure that when plans change, when things change, it is in a very good position. So when you buy it, essentially, if you currently have forms that you inherited from your vendor when you purchased it, and if it's not valid, then that's a risk you already have. So I guess before you start thinking about selling it, you already should have
when you actually go to purchase the management rights business, when you have reputable accountant, industry expert solicitors as well, plus your financiers, they'll do all that checking for you. And for you to be able to be assigned these Form 6s, the 20A agreements with the owners, they have to be assignable anyway. So it's sort of like
You're guaranteed because you use the industry accountant and solicitors and the financiers. So
But it's good to actually go through and actually have a look at each agreement with each owner, just to see what fee structure it is. Just double check.
And typically, from the bank's point of view, if say, for example, when you are buying a business and then the forms are not correctly signed, the bank can refuse to fund that part of the purchase because it's not actionable, it's not legal essentially. So the income is not secure for the new purchaser. So obviously that part has to be fixed before so when the accountant do the verification, they will note that, and the bank obviously will know that as well. So and then generally that will be a condition in the conditions precedent. Yeah. So conditions precedent will contain a clause saying you have to get this fixed before we settle. Otherwise, we will exclude that from our settlement. So that's from the bank's point of view as well.
And don't forget, if your appointment isn't valid, you cannot accept any money into your trust account. Any owner could report you to the OFT, and you'll have the OFT on your doorstep wanting to go through your appointments, go through your trust accounts. If that were to happen, if you were to get a letter from the OFT, contact us. John's very experienced in dealing with OFT issues. But it is really important that you understand that all of your agreements have to be in order. Question? Yeah?
Excuse me, Vanessa. You mentioned there is a manager for the business and improved his net profit by 3 times. What has he done?
he's given his owners really good service. So he's a manager who was instrumental to the establishment of the Mantra Group, and he has since gone out on his own. So he really has an understanding of the relationship between the owners and your tenants, and just marketing his business. So this is a short-term complex. The manager that he bought it from, it was just clear that she was disinterested, she didn't want to be there, she wasn't promoting it, and the complex was dishevelled. The trees weren't maintained, and he got in there, he really improved the look of it. He started, talking to his owners. And he'd walk around the complex and he would just have a chat with them. He knows all of his owners by name. He emails them regularly to give them updates. He gives them the owner statements regularly. He does a lot of things, but it all comes down to his relationship with his owners.
I mean, the result is the net income increase, isn't it?
The result, yeah. So
Occupancy
the
probably too.
occupancy rate increased. It was only about 50%, and he got it up to 98% in 3 months.
So just to also wrap up that question, if you go to page 176 in the book, there are 17 ways you can increase your income and letting pool and relationships with your community members. So it's all out, laid out in front of you, 17 ways you can choose.
But also talking to other managers. Like I mentioned, Mike O'Farrell, he's very experienced. Going along to one of his seminars or talking to other managers, we're happy to put you in contact with other clients, because really talking to other people and leaning on your other managers, even your neighbouring complexes, they're all really a wealth of knowledge for you to rely on.
Stick around for a while.
Yeah, we'll be here.